Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we start, please go ahead and share, like, and subscribe. Specifically, this video. This is I usually don't say a specific video, but this one's an important one. I believe people should see and watch because not a lot of people know what's going on. Not a lot of people are aware of this matter. But for those of you that don't know. There's a protest going on in Iran over a woman who was killed for not wearing the proper attire, the headscarf. The morality police in Iran captured this woman, and I will tell you her name in a second. Captured this woman, beat her. She ended up having brain injury and died from the brain injury. And now there's a countrywide protest going on in Iran because of the morality police. What is morality police, you ask? Morality police, what they do is they go around, look at people's way of attire, the way they are dressed, mostly women. They capture them. They take them to the police station. They book them, put them in jail, and parents need to come and bail them out, get them out. Then they need to go in front of a judge, and their punishment could be jail time or lashes. Yes, you're right, lashes. They still do that, but in this case, the woman's name is Mahsa Amini. Mahsa Amini was a woman from Kurdistan, Iran, who had traveled to Tehran for shopping and being with friends. And I believe she also had an Instagram account, sort of an influencer. Iran also has an internet police called Fatah, which is their cybersecurity, but they monitor their own citizens more than anything else. But let's read this article real quick from NPR. Why Iranian women are burning their hijabs after the death of Mahsa Amini. Iranian women are burning their hijabs and cutting their hair short in protest over the death of Mahsa Amini, a young woman who died after being arrested in Tehran by Iran's notorious morality police, who enforces the country's rule on hijab and other conservative Islamic modes of dress and behavior. Here's what we know so far about Amini's death and the public furor it ignited, and the question that remains. Amini was arrested for allegedly breaking hijab rules. Amini, 22, died on Friday in northern Tehran. She had been arrested on Tuesday and reportedly was taken to a hospital shortly afterwards. Amini suffered multiple blows to the head before she died, according to London-based broadcaster Iran International. Amini was arrested in her brother's car during a visit to see family members in the capital, the outlet reported. She was originally from Saqqez in Kurdistan province. Amini's family says officers beat her in the police van after her arrest, citing eyewitnesses who support that claim. Police rejected the allegation, of course they did, saying Amini died after being taken to a hospital because she had a heart attack. Yeah, I will show you a picture to tell me if she had a heart attack. Senior officials who are promising a full investigation included President Ibrahim Raisi, who called Amini's family on Sunday to assure them her death will be investigated. Your daughter is like my own daughter, and I feel that this incident happened to one of my loved ones. Iran's Chief Justice Mohseni EJE has also promised a full investigation, but probably not going to get anywhere. The United Nations called for impartial inquiry into Amini's death. Mahsa Amini's tragic death and allegations of torture and ill treatment must be promptly, impartially, and effectively investigated by an independent competent authority that ensures in particular that her family has access to justice and truth. Acting UN High Commission for Human Rights Neda Nashif said in a statement. Let's pause right here before we go to the protest portion. So this is Neda Amini. The picture on the left is her in a hospital, right? That's not a heart attack patient. That is not a heart attack patient. That is not a heart attack patient. There's swelling going on, but I'm not a doctor. This was her funeral, and this is where women all over, I believe, Iran and all over the world, actually, they're posting TikTok. They are cutting their hairs in protest of her death. Her death is tragic. This did not need to be escalated to this level. So it gets me back to, the morons here. By morons, I mean the people who are protesting George Floyd. As an immigrant, we value the freedom that we have in this country. I certainly do. Our freedom of speech, our freedom to protest, our freedom to be human beings without, this type of consequence. We get to dress however we want. We get to act however we want. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But it doesn't get to this level. In Iran, the morality police has a lot of leeway. Although her death is tragic, I guarantee you nothing's going to happen. This is going to be another dirt swept under the rug. And for those people who say, oh, we don't have freedom here, there's no freedom, X, Y, Z. If you guys saw my video yesterday about slavery and reparation, these people need reparation. Iranian people need reparation because of how the regime treats them. The regime, right? Here, they always claim racism. These people have no idea what goes on in other countries. Zero clue. They think they are oppressed in this country. You are not oppressed in this country. You make yourself oppressed. You allow others to think that you are oppressed. You allow others to oppress you. If you say, I am oppressed, bullshit. You want to know what oppression means? You don't know what oppressed means? Go to Iran. Go to Afghanistan. Go to Pakistan. You'll find out quickly. Although, in Iran, they have relaxed a lot of their extremism since I left. But there are instances like this happening all the time because their internet police targets people, specifically if you are an influencer or whatnot. They'll follow you, they know who you are, they know where you live. But these protests are against a regime that continuously oppresses their own people. Now, in this protest, people died by the police shooting at them live rounds at the protesters. How many live rounds have been shot here during a protest from the police to the crowd? How many? Zero. They don't care over there. They care here. So, next time you want to say I'm oppressed, I would say look at other countries before you open your mouth and say crap like that. This is why we have a mass migration of people showing up to the border, crossing into this country illegally. Because even as illegal As an illegal, you walk in, you get the same rights as a citizen. That's the interesting part about the laws of this land. If you don't have papers, you still get the same treatment. You still are allowed to, you still can get a lawyer, have a lawyer defend you at no cost. So when you open your mouth and say, oh, I'm oppressed, I'm going to start referring you to these kind of videos, to these kind of events. Now, I hope that, this regime in Iran changes, but, it's wishful thinking. It'll never happen. It won't happen. These people know how to stay in power. They've been in power for 40 years, and it's really hard to throw this regime out of power, because they have roots way too deep. It's very, very difficult to get these people out of power. Only way it will happen is if the entire country unites. And the problem is, just like here, they're not. The entire country is not united. You have the people who want freedom, and you have the people who are very what's the word I'm looking for? Dependent on the government. They get money from the government. They are dependent, so they'll support it. Just like here, you got the Democrats and the liberals who are very dependent on the government. You got people who just like, oh, the government is the best. Government should have more power. Government should have more power. This is exactly why a government should not have more power. This is exactly the reason. This is exactly the reason why governments should not have power. This is exactly the reason that the United States Constitution says the same thing. This is why the Second Amendment exists. These people have no guns to defend themselves against this regime. Why do you think they get controlled this badly? Why do you think they have no way out? Why do you think they'll never succeed in these protests? Why do you think they'll never be able to overthrow this regime? Because they have nothing to defend themselves with. In the United States, you got the Second Amendment. Second Amendment was put in place if the tyrannical government happens to be like the Iranian government, then people can arm themselves, people can create militias, and people can throw the government out and replace it with a different one. So I don't want to make this video any longer than it is. I would say look into the story a little bit further, guys, if you have the time. And also look into the story of 2009 election in Iran. It was same thing, almost same thing happened. A woman in the name of Neda was also killed, shot in the head or throat, I believe. Yeah, she was shot in the throat. Also look into that story. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. Didn't want to make this video so sad, but you know what? Sometimes we have to, because it's good to know what happens outside of the United States. Specifically, if you don't really know what happens outside, this is exactly what's going on. So with that, guys, please don't forget to share this video. Peace out.